This is Chelle. Chelle has been on one of my podcasts. She was talking about her stories and struggles that she had, and it's on YouTube, probably Facebook too. But definitely check her out. She has a very inspiring story that will lift you up. I mean, she's one of the strongest ladies that I know. She has a lot of medical issues. She has kids. She has a very supportive husband. I mean, she's the whole 9 yards of what definition of struggle it is, but getting through it regardless. Her TikTok videos will inspire you, and they're well worth watching, especially if you're having a bad day. And so for Chelle, she's here to support me, which is awesome. But I'm gonna get some information back from you, what your feedback is, what you want to give out to other people. So there should be a nice, short, and sweet little thing I got here for you guys. So what I have is 8 tips to manage your stress. So this is from Gary Small. He's an MD member, Nutrition Advisory Board for Herbalife. So what he has here is how to improve your state of mind. So number 1 is identifying your stress cues. Your stress cues are such as like teeth grinding, weight gain, headaches, mood swings, back and neck pain, and sleepless nights are signals that you're experiencing stress, which I think about 90% of us we have some definition of that. I mean, I do the teeth grinding, the weight gain. If you watch my videos, I look like Santa Claus most of the time. Headaches, no. Mood swings, unless I don't get no food in me. So, Chelle, when you're stressed out, what do you experience? Is it teeth grinding, weight gain? What is something you experience?
When I am totally stressed out, but this is more specific to my functional neurological disorder, which doesn't handle stress very well at all. I get tics that mimic Tourette's. So me getting stressed is really not an option because it will affect my entire body and everyone around me. I'm talking migraines, wanting to binge eat, not hungry, but I just want it because it makes me feel better. The whole 9 yards, you name it.
All right, so you get the whole package of what stress can do to you. I think so. All right, so if identifying your cues will help you know when to practice and what strategies you can lower your stress. So for you, what is one of your strategies to lower your stress?
One of the things that I do is I have set aside a room in my home that is just for me. No one's allowed in there when mommy's having a bad day in particular. I go in my space. I surround myself with music, kind of calm, tranquil music like Beethoven or Bach. Stuff that is timeless but also very calming.
Yeah.
And I count and I name reasons to myself on why I feel stressed out, and I name reasons to myself how to handle it. You know, I talk it out with me so that I don't take it out on everybody around me.
Yeah, which makes sense. So are you writing stuff down? Like, is it thoughts that you're having, or is it just something you want to, good thoughts you're putting down on paper that you want to read back to yourself?
Oh, yes. I surround myself with good thoughts. I wake up in the morning, the first thing I see is a note on my desk going, today's going to be a good day. And nothing is to the point where you can't overcome it. Every room in my house has some positive affirmation. So you can't stay negative in my house for long because I don't like negativity. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to tickle you. I'm going to say something goofy. You know what I mean? And I would hope that my family at this point, they do the same back to me. They can tell when I'm in a negative headspace and they will just surround me with love. I'm blessed in that extent. But yes, writing stuff down, how you're feeling, to validate your feelings is very important because how you feel is important. And it's very valid to feel that way.
And I totally have to agree with that. So my stress is I do have the mood swings. I have when I'm really focus on something. I'm the type of person that focus real hard on something. And if you, I'm stressing out about it. So if you interfere with me, I do get that mood swing, like, get away. I can't do this. So I do teeth grinding, which I do a lot when I'm sleeping, which I know a lot of people, they have mouth guards that they have to use for teeth grinding. Their doctor says they have to. So number two is knowing your triggers. If you're working from home or watching the news and you find yourself feeling just impatient, irritated, or experiencing a headache or a neck pain, that's time to get up and disconnect. You gotta get away from all that, away from there. Their suggestions is take a walk. I mean, this is what you do. You have your little room. Listen to music or find a quiet place to relax and help to reset your mental state. And go back to tackling the day's task. For you, you go to your room. You want everybody just to leave you alone. You know that this is mommy's room, or they know that. Leave me alone. I need to disconnect so I can be able to recoup. So, do you do any type of like meditation or outside of? I know you have that little thing there. Have you ever tried meditation?
I've dabbled in just about every sort of stress relief, and but I find that my house is not conducive to complete quiet, which is something that you need to get in the zone for meditation.
Yeah.
So that's not an option for me. So I had to learn how to self-soothe. But I do have friends who swear by meditation, getting in a quiet space. They can sit there for hours and just be completely calm. I wish I could, but 5 kids don't allow me to do that.
I'm in the same boat with you. And you can hear everything through the walls, regardless.
Yes,
I mean, the soothing thing about with me is with music. You talk about Beethoven and all them. It's piano music. I have to listen to piano music because there's a rhythm to it. And when they're playing, I pick up on that rhythm, and it actually calms me down a lot more than if I was listening to Marilyn Manson, by the way. Marilyn Manson record or something. It
yes.
still strikes me that you got a cowboy hat on. The you, it's like no, this it just is not making any sense here. It's not going. It's not going together.
I don't go together. That's the crazy thing about being me. I love to be original and outside the box, and I encourage everybody to be that. Because if we was all the same, it'd be boring,
It,
you know. So
there was a cartoon I watched, Fairly Odd Parents. Timmy wanted everybody to be the same, so they all became gray blobs,
yes,
and
exactly.
nobody could find each other. Nobody knew who's what. But yeah, it definitely would be a boring life. So for number three, disconnect daily. Schedule regular times throughout the day when you want to take breaks or watching, reading, or listening to news stories, including social media. Be
Yes,
connected. Be connected 24 hours a day can lend to mental strain and anxiety. So with social media, I know some people, especially my wife, what I've noticed, if they're on social media, they see something and it makes them angry, which is another level of stress. And I'm like, why are you looking for it? And what I've always tell a lot of people is if you're looking for positive, you're going to find the positive. If you're looking for negative, you're going to find the negative. Negative is
exactly.
what causes the stress. So you're flipping through social media, and if you do feel that type of stress building up, for me, for example, TikTok, I get so bored with TikTok because most of them are just still frame pictures or women showing their hoo-has. I don't care. I
Right,
mean, there's nothing there for me or value to me. So it does stress me out. I'm like, I want to see something. And
right.
that's another reason why I created this channel because most of other people's channels are boring.
Yeah.
So, does social media stress you out? Like, what things do you see that do stress you out?
Um, I tend to try to stay, but I try to tend to stay away from the negative side because TikTok in general, I find have some very dark content if you go down the rabbit hole far enough. But that's any medium platform. which is why I get up in the morning. I do my videos. I set myself 2 hours to engage, and then I'm done for the day until around this time. Because I don't like all of the negative. So they push more negativity on you than positive, is what I find. And I don't have time for that sort of stressful environment. It's just crazy. We don't even watch the news in my house. If it's must need to know, it will pop up on TikTok or it will pop up on Facebook. If I need
Go
to know
somewhere.
it, someone would tell me, but I don't watch it because it's so stressful, because there's nothing that you can do really about the things that you're seeing and the things that are happening. And that just puts you in a negative space if you have a big heart like I do, because you want to help everybody and you can't.
No, you definitely can't. And unfortunately, the thing about with social media or television or anything, people get views with negativity. They have to be negative. The number one emotion that they like to use is getting people mad.
Yes,
And unfortunately, people like you and I, there's no point.
right,
And it does cause stress. I mean, COVID-19 caused stress. COVID-19 created this channel. So it's there's no, I don't know. I can't elaborate how ridiculous any type of media. I don't even watch news myself. News is
right.
boring. First of all, I'm tired of seeing our president, he stresses me. So, but I'm not going to get into politics. But number 4, find your creative outlet. Spend time reconnecting with pastimes you enjoy, or find new activities or hobbies. Shifting your focus on something novel can help you relax and feel energized. So, what do you reconnect on pastimes, just hobbies? What is something you enjoy?
I write poetry.
Okay.
That is one of my hobbies. In reading. I love to read. I love to escape reality for a couple of hours a day and just immerse myself in a good book. But poetry is my main vent. And recently, TikTok videos, because I've been able to connect with people like-minded, and that's important too, is to find the individuals who are like-minded and going through the same issues you're going through. It's very therapeutic to be able to express those emotions.
So, when you're writing poetry, what kind of poetry are you writing?
It depends on what mood I'm in. I have some very angry, some very I would never show to my pastor type of things. uh, or, show to my parishioners type of things. And then I have some very odes to my husband, who's a veteran, and he's been my pillar of support for 16 years. So I have very beautiful poetry. It depends on the mood, really, what mood I'm in and how I'm feeling that
Yeah, that's definitely understandable. I used to write poetry myself, and then I got out of it. I used to write music too, and so I just got all out of that. Now my outlet is my videos. So and I find that you can find people that actually will relate to you, especially you. I mean, you came out of the blue, I think. So number 5, breathe. Breathing techniques. I personally use breathing techniques, which is not. Mine are pretty simple. You just breathe through your nose, through your mouth. You want to tense your body up. That's where a lot of your stress is throughout your whole body. So you want to tense yourself up, and then let it all just relax. But visually, you want to see in your mind, you're kind of like a wax figure. When candles are starting to melt, they're all stiff right now. So when they're starting to melt, they start to relax. So I don't know if you use any type of breathing methods that you would recommend to anybody.
I do the 10 deep breaths. If you are a mother who's been in labor, you'll recognize the technique, the quick breaths in and out to kind of calm yourself down. And then from there, I start slowing it down. And as I slow my breathing down, I can feel the stress kind of melting away as I slow it down until I get to a point where I'm breathing normally again. And I feel better, feel lighter.
And definitely sounds like something a lot of people can take, use. Well, especially women. You bring up the pregnancy thing. I've seen all my kids born. So only two was actually natural. So
Was in labor with all of mine for at least 2 weeks, but I never had them naturally. So those breathing techniques came in quite handy since they wouldn't come.
especially sitting at home. I mean, I don't know. My first child, when he was born, their mother kept going to the hospital. She had breast conditions. She didn't really understand that, and it drove me nuts. So I was like, all right, we're gonna sit here. I'm gonna go clean out my van. Once you start screaming, let me know. And probably about 15 minutes later, man, we were rushing up. So I was like, I can't do this. So they say on here, number 6, move your body. You gotta keep active. They always recommend, I think it's 45 minutes of going outside. Just going out, walking around. When you exercise, it produces endorphins, chemicals in your brain that reduce the perception of pain. So that improves your mood. Regular exercise also helps you improve your quality of sleep, which in return reduces your stress and fatigue. And I noticed that I'm not a big exercise person, but I do work really hard where I'm at. I'm a factory worker, so I'm consistently moving. So by the end of the day, I'm ready for a nap. I get home at 5 o'clock and we get dinner and I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed. But actually, I don't go to bed. But if you own a fitness tracker, aim for 10,000 steps each day. That's actually a very, very good goal. I used to actually hit that. I had a Samsung tracker thing for my phone.
Right.
And I ran 10,000 steps today. And probably most of them is because they were just tracking my movement because I was just sitting there. But so what type of exercises do you do?
I am limited because of my knee, but I do a lot of walking. I try to do a lot of walking, and even for those who are chair bound, I would encourage you to go to YouTube and look up chair based exercises. They are really helpful in getting the blood flowing, getting the body moving. You don't have to run 10 miles a day, but you can. There are still ways to stay active, even if you can't walk, which is a point I was at one point in my life. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. Exercise is very important for the mind and the body.
Yeah, I definitely agree with it. I know the difference between when I was playing football in high school. I definitely knew. I mean, I was a lot happier with the endorphins being enhanced, and from stress from school and stress from actually performing it all melted away.
Right. Absolutely.
No,
I used to play basketball when I was younger, so I wish I could go back to that.
I played baseball for quite some time myself. I should have done it in high school, but I decided to go full time working at a factory. So I started that at 14.
Oh,
So that's sweeping the floors. I wasn't doing anything impressive. So number 7, stay connected with people. Keeping in touch with your families and friends is critical. We are social beings by nature. So we need that. We need that type of social gathering. Birds that birds that fly together or flock together, something like that. I can't remember how that goes, but we need to be connected some way or another, and that's
absolutely.
with COVID-19, they invented Zoom. So that was the most beautiful thing they ever invented. We didn't have that physical contact, but we still be able to see our family. And I used it a lot through business and through staying in contact with my family. So,
Yes.
but a lot of what has happened, and I'm a little old school, I'm a little old hearted, is that every Sunday you're supposed to gather with your family. And a lot of that has changed for some odd reason. And I don't know why, but gathering with your family, it does make you feel better as a person. I don't know. I know there's family gatherings, you get together. What things do you do with your family that you make sure you do every week? I don't know if you have a routine for that or.
Saturdays are usually our days to just enjoy each other. We go outside. We try to find a park to go to. With the kids being out of school, we generally is throw a stone in any direction is something to do because we live close to Helen, Georgia, which is a huge college German town that always has something going on, whether it be putt golf or otherwise. Or, sometimes we'll have a outside movie night. I'll set up the projector and I'll put the chairs out on the lawn, and we'll invite the neighborhood if somebody's interested and have some popcorn. But I try to allow them to express themselves in a safe space because that's also important. And at the same time, if you want to talk to me, I'm always open, but particularly right now is the time. If anything is on your mind, let's get it out. So we'll have a family conversation that morning that will carry on all day if they feel like something needs to come up. Because to me, that's more important. Open communication is very important for them to know that they always have a safe space. So our Saturdays are pretty packed with all of that. And it's fun. I love it.
See, that what you're bringing up there is a lot of disconnection of family. And I noticed with a lot of families, when I was growing up, communication between me and my dad was absolutely horrible. But for some reason, we all have to run to our mommies. Mommies have that communication, that something that I guess men don't have. I don't know if it's how they were raised. So it's, but I mean, having that critical time with your family, which is a lot of what has been forgotten. And I guess it's a Southern thing. I don't know. But I notice a lot of the families around here in the North, where the Yankees belong, we don't have that anymore. So it's either you're drinking or or going out to the bar all the time. But
I think that that's a universal thing now. I think that the Southern part of us still hold on to it, but it's something that is slowly being lost regardless of where you're located, just because the way the environment is and the way technology is taking over and everybody is preoccupied with cell phones and TVs and PlayStation. Family just unfortunately doesn't mean what it used to mean, and that's sad. And that's what I try to instill in my children: family first, because when you don't have anybody else, you should be able to have your family.
It definitely sounds like your mama had a big role in that. In our last interview, that you were talking about your mom and how amazing she was, and so you were definitely raised right by your mom.
Thank you. Thank you. You'd be happy to hear that.
I have a thing. I mean, I have 5 kids myself. So, family, I'm not from around this area. So, right. I came from a different part of Ohio, and all I know is what I know. So, having that family, it's very critical for me. And once again, this is why United Motivation exists. COVID-19 hit, and I didn't see my family for a year. And it was not not good for my end.
Right.
So for number 8, set up a daily routine. In the midst of changes that are out of your control, stay consistent with activities that you take charge of.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can control what you can control, I just did a video on this saying you can control what you can control, but you can't control other people.
Right.
And a lot of it's towards your reaction. And this article was actually written during COVID-19, and you couldn't control that. So you can only control what you can control. And trust me, man, I was throwing fits left and right because I don't like that type of control.
Right.
And I got in a lot of fights with my parents. But I understand they're in their 50s, they didn't want to get sick. But I was like, you can't protect yourself from something you cannot see. So it's virtually impossible. But I control what my family had. So for you, how do you I say you can control the things you can control, and but you can't control other people. Have you have you ever had that issue where you want to try to control somebody and you tried, but then you're like,
Absolutely.
okay,
Absolutely. Namely, my little brother. You try, and they just don't get it. But at the end of the day, to save my sanity, I had to sit him down and let him know that you're interrupting my peace. So if you don't want to grow up, or if this is the life you choose to live, I can't stop it. I'm no longer going to try to stop it, but I don't have to be a part of it. Um, and some of us need to not be afraid to say that as well. That's important because sometimes it's important that you do for the sake of your own peace and your own comfort and being stress free. There are some things and some people you will have to let go. It's going to hurt, but it's necessary. At the end of the day, your peace of mind and your self care is the most important thing because if you're not okay, the people around you aren't going to be okay either.
well, that pretty much wraps up the whole idea and of what I'm doing. The tips for stress. I'll go over them quick. Identify your stress cues. Number two, know your triggers. Number three, disconnect daily. Number four, find your creative outlet. Number five, breathe for relaxation. Number six, move your body. Number seven, stay connected with people. And number eight, set up a daily routine. And if, for my suggestion for you guys, if your stress does get out of control, please go to a doctor. Please figure out how you can be able to maintain your stress. It could be along the lines of depression or anxiety. Go to a doctor and explain to them what's going on. For
Yeah.
my case, I have anxiety, which I notice a lot with my anxiety is up here. I can't think right. So when I'm stressed out, I mean, I have my mood swings. I have I get angry. I get very, very angry, almost yeah. So I noticed when I got on to getting the medication they gave me, my mind has settled down a lot. So it's definitely something you want to. I suggest go to a doctor regardless.
Now, don't be afraid to seek outside help. I know a lot of people are afraid of being stigmatized or labeled as crazy or this, that, and the third. If you truly feel that you are that severely overwhelmed and you can't figure out a way to calm yourself down, reach out for help. Definitely reach out for help and don't worry about what anybody else thinks. This is for you to take care of you.
Uh, eh, Yeah, definitely gotta. I mean, you gotta take care of yourself because if you can't take care of yourself, or I always say, if you can't love yourself, you can't do neither or. If you don't know how to do both, you're not going to be able to do it with your family, especially if you need that family attachment.
Absolutely.
So, anything you want to add on to it, or
No, this was very eye-opening for me. It actually gave me a few tips that I didn't really think I was using, but I'm glad that I participated. And I would love to do this again. And to anybody who comes across this video, definitely give United Motivation a watch because he gives you some awesome tips and advice in every day. I don't even post every day, but he posts it every day. And he is a general person who's actually concerned about your mental well-being. So, yeah,